Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, I wanted to share with you quick a couple different ways that I do things to make money doing music full time. Sometimes I got to get creative, especially this month. I've been making money off of music full time for a couple years now, so I figured out a couple different ways. And so, last month, if you remember, I posted a video on how I turned all my L's into W's. I was catching so many losses in November, suddenly I switched them around to be W's. Well, as soon as I posted that video, of course, I start catching a bunch of L's again because, of course, that's how it goes. So a couple weeks had passed and it came to be like about December 14th, and I made a total of $45 for the entire month. And this is how I make my living. This is how I pay all my bills. And $45 was not going to cut it. I was getting nervous, and my savings had not been looking the same as it normally does. Normally, I have, some nice flexibility in my savings, but between my dad's funeral, having to buy Christmas gifts, having to buy this brand new computer because my other one kind of was crapping out on me, and a couple other unexpected expenses that I normally don't have, my savings had took a big hit. So I'm sitting here like, man, $45. It's half of the month has passed. I don't know how I'm gonna make enough money. What am I gonna do? So here's what I did to make that happen. So the first thing that I did was I got out of the house, I got out of my studio, and I started going to a couple different parties where I knew there'd be a lot of artists. I started going to a lot of events, and I started just doing face-to-face talking, and I started just, talking to people, cutting deals, because that's one cool thing about when you work for yourself and you're your own boss, you can be flexible with your prices a little bit. You can, especially if you need the money a little bit, you can work out a deal, take some discounts off, be like, all right, man, if you're gonna do the whole project with me, I'll do it for this or something like that. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, and that's why you set the prices the way you do, so you can have a little bit of flexibility. So I did a lot of face to face, and that's really valuable. Do not lose the value of that, of being able to go and conversate with somebody and joke around and laugh and tell stories and hear what they're all about, and be able to have that connection and be able to, smile face to face with somebody, be able to shake hands. That connection is really valuable, not only you, but your clients as well. So that's one thing I did. Another thing that I did was I started to run a holiday sale on my services. That's what's really cool about the holidays. You can kind of get away with doing some sales. And so I started offering 25% off of my services, and that helped a lot too, because people were excited, like, all right, cool, I can get this for 25% off. That's a pretty big savings. So that started to have some income with me. And then what I did was I started running some ads on Instagram and Facebook. And what's really cool, and I don't think a lot of people know this, is the ads allow you to kind of gamble on yourself a little bit, because they don't charge you right away for the ads. They don't charge you until the very last day of the month. So if it's the middle of the month and, you take out a 30, 50, 50, $100 ad or something like that, you're not going to be charged with that $100 when the ad is over. You're going to be charged with it the last day of the month. So you got a little bit of room to gamble on yourself and try to make shit happen. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I do, is I try to gamble sometimes on myself like that and be like, you know what? If I get one order in, if I sell one thing, this ad is going to pay for itself. So I did that. And then, another thing that I did was I sent out newsletters. And that's maybe not something that some of you can do short term, but that's something to think about for as the new year comes along and you're trying to build your brand. That's something that you can think about, is building a newsletter and getting people to subscribe to it. And so one of the things that I do is I always try to offer more value in my newsletters than I am trying to sell something. So more often than not, when you get a newsletter from me, it's usually like a tutorial, or I'm giving you some type of production or business tip for running your brand or something like that. And that way, when you get an email from me, it's more like, oh, this is, most of the time, this is valuable and this is something that's worth something to me, so I'm going to open it up. So then the one time that I do sell something, you're not just going to roll your eyes like, oh God, he's always trying to sell me something. And so that's what I encourage you for your newsletter too, is find ways to offer value. And so that way your subscribers want to open up your emails. And so when it is coming time to sell something, they're more likely to open it, because they're not always feeling like you're force feeding some type of product or item for them to buy. Most of the times when they open up your email, it's valuable to them. So think of different ways that you can do that and build that up, promote that, because I promise you a newsletter is a great way to be able to make a living off of music full time. There's a lot of other ways that you can make money, and that's another thing that I do too. And something that I encourage you for long-term success too is find different ways to make money off of music, because that's what I do. I don't make money off of just one way. I make money off of mixing and mastering, consultations, sound kits. I make money off of doing video edits. I make money off of doing tutorials, placements, all different types of ways that I make money. So it's not just one way. So something else to think about too is give yourself options to make a lot of different sources of revenue. So that way, when something like this happens where you're not making ends meet fully, you got a couple different ways to make the money. So that's basically everything that I did this month. It was scary early on. $45 is not enough to survive. I found a way, and it was just getting out there, networking, doing some face-to-face stuff, running some ads and some sales, and then just going out there, promoting myself, and then just, capitalizing on my newsletter and just, trusting the process and believing in myself. And that's how I made it happen. And I think that you can too. And I wanted to put this out there because I know a lot of you are setting New Year's resolutions to either build your brand better or, start your LLC for the first time. So hopefully this helps, and just let me know if there's any information that you want me to give you, and I will make sure to make videos about it. Happy New Year, everybody.